You ever think about how a brand's biggest strength, the one thing you can spot from a mile away, could actually be its biggest weakness? Well, today we're going to look at Coca-Cola and the paradox right at its heart. Is that iconic black color the very thing that could bring it all down? Okay, let's just dive right into this. The core idea we're digging into is that the company's total reliance on that famous color is putting it on a path to a kind of gradual structural decline. We're not talking about some sudden collapse here, but more of a slow suffocation over the next decade or so.
So, to really get a handle on this threat, we have to start with the color itself. Like, what is that stuff really? And why has it become so absolutely fundamental to the whole Coca-Cola experience?
Yeah, this isn't just burnt sugar, which is what I think a lot of us assume. We're talking about a very specific industrial compound called caramel color 4. It's made by heating sugar with some pretty serious chemicals, ammonium and sulfides. And that's the secret sauce that gives Coke its consistent dark look and, get this, it's even a key part of the flavor.
And this right here is why it's so incredibly hard for Coca-Cola to just walk away from it. See, this color isn't just for looks, it's woven into the very DNA of the product. It gives us that iconic look we all expect, right? It adds a crucial toasty bit to the taste profile. And maybe, most importantly, it lets them mass produce it cheaply and consistently anywhere in the world. It is quite literally the foundation of their entire global business model.
All right, so we've established the color is critical. But here's the flip side. That very importance is creating three huge looming threats to Coca-Cola's future. Let's break them down. And these threats, they're like a perfect storm. Each one feeds into the next, starting with the science and ending with what could be a fatal blow to the brand itself. First up, the health scares. So a byproduct of making caramel color 4 is this compound called 4-MEI. Now, it's been linked to cancer in animal studies, and it's already regulated in places like California, which actually forced Coke to change its formula there just to avoid a warning label. And believe me, that debate is not going anywhere. Then there's this. Consumer perception is just shifting right under their feet. Younger generations, we're talking Gen Z and millennials, they're starting to have this visual rejection of dark, artificial-looking drinks. You know, that dark, kind of murky look? It just screams unnatural or old school to a lot of people now. And all of that leads to the biggest risk of all, total brand erosion. Even when Coke rolls out zero sugar options, the whole caramel color thing just hammers home this one negative idea, that Coke is at its core an artificial product. It just chips away at trust, right at the time they need it the most.
So what happens if Coca-Cola just buries its head in the sand? What does a future without any real change actually look like? Well, let's play it out over the next 15 years.
This timeline shows a steady squeeze. I mean, by 2030, you could easily see new regulations hitting not just the US but Europe too. Fast forward a few more years to 2035, and the whole consumer world could pivot to transparent, natural-looking drinks, making classic Coke feel like a nostalgic, almost niche thing your parents drank. And then by 2040, it's totally plausible that artificial colors could get hit with the same kind of health taxes that sugar is facing right now.
Okay, so it sounds pretty bleak, right? But it's not a done deal. There are definitely potential escape routes. So let's dig into the 4 strategic ways Coca-Cola could actually pivot and reinvent itself.
Which, leads us to the million-dollar question. How can a brand that is so defined by its color possibly escape that very dependency?
All right, so paths 1 and 2 are all about the ingredient itself. First up, they could go all in on a transparent Coke 2.0. Yeah, they tried it before, but with today's tech, they could really nail the flavor and mark it clear as the new gold standard for clean. Or, option 2, they keep the color but make it, well, clean. They could develop a natural caramel that would keep the iconic look, but it would almost certainly cost more, so maybe that's just for their premium stuff.
Okay, now for the really futuristic option. And this is kind of wild. They could use AI to figure out the exact flavor molecules that come from the caramel color and then recreate only those molecules without the color itself. What you'd get is a perfectly clear drink that has the taste of black. I mean, that would be a total game changer.
All right, the last path isn't about changing the liquid in the bottle. It's about changing the story on the outside. Instead of getting rid of the original, they could just diversify. Keep classic Coke for the diehards, but launch brand new separate lines like a Coca-Cola Green with all natural ingredients or Coca-Cola Pure that's totally additive-free. A move like that would take a huge shift, probably even redefining their whole mission from refresh the world to something more, health conscious, like rebalance the world. So let's pull all of this together, because at the end of the day, it really boils down to one fundamental choice for Coca-Cola.
This chart here, it lays out the choice perfectly. Just look at the current Black Coke column. You've got strong brand heritage, sure, but an extremely low health image and a market that is clearly shrinking. Now look over at the future transparent column. The market's expanding, the health image can be fixed, but yeah, taste stability is a real technical challenge. The arrows really tell the whole story here. The future is pulling in a very different direction from the past.
Ultimately, this is what it all comes down to. The fight for Coca-Cola's future isn't really about an ingredient. It's a fight for its very soul, its identity. The question is, can it evolve from being the ultimate symbol of black to becoming a leader that redefines what transparency even means in the beverage world?
And that really leaves us with one big, lingering question. Coca-Cola's problem is a perfect test case for something much bigger. In a world that demands authenticity and health, is the future of all iconic brands clear?